Welcome back. All right. Well, not a great way to start the channel here, uploading 2 weekly videos and then missing the next 2 weeks. I have a reason for not uploading videos for the past 2 weeks. I got pretty sick and missed a week off of work, and then I went on a small vacation when I felt better. But I am back. I have updated a spreadsheet. I've also made a couple of changes here on the portfolio. It's really been a wild past 2 weeks. As you can see, the net worth is 253,501.29. I did pull out $9,500 from my Earn account, where you can see here on the 22nd, I pulled that out. I made a large payment on an automobile that I am paying off. I put that towards the balance, so I have a smaller balance right now, and I may in the near future take out the other 9,000 and fully pay it off. But as you can see, having almost $20,000 in an account pays nothing. $59 in interest, $56 in interest. I mean, that is, you can't save your way to riches, and that's at a 4.5% yield. I've earned $242 this year, and I've had this money in this account for several months. It's just a place where I put some extra money, where if I have an emergency, or I need to buy something or pay off something, or maybe there's a small vacation, or whatever it may be, whether it's a luxury item or a necessity or a medical bill or whatever, I can kind of pull it from this account. And so that's what I did. So that is why this balance is cut in half. So I want to show you a couple of things. I have the dividends portfolio pulled up here. As most of you probably know, if you followed the market, again, the past 2 weeks have been pretty chaotic with the presidential election and who's going to win and what's going to happen to businesses and tax rate and business taxes, etc. But SCHD, they did a 3-to-1 stock split. So I have two accounts. This account here, I have now 1,268 shares. I had previously just over, I think, 400 and change in this account. So I have 1,268 shares in this account. And then in my IRA account on SCHD, I have 1,160. So I have about 2,400 shares of SCHD. When it did the 3-to-1 stock split, the price was about $75 per share. Obviously, that got cut into a third, which I think is significantly better, because now it is more accessible and appealing to more investors, seeing how the share per price is, a third of what it was. So it's a lot easier to take a $100 bill and get 3 shares versus taking that same $100 bill and only getting 1 share. But this stock, if you just take a look at it, I had a balance at the beginning of the year of $29,000, and again, it's been pretty rocky over the past couple of weeks, but right now the balance is just in this stock up 30 almost $33,000. That is a 14.93% increase this year. I mean, that's excellent, and it's paying dividends in this stock, in this portfolio. Almost $900 in dividends it's paid to date, and in the other portfolio, it is paid over $2,300 paid to date. And usually my biggest month of dividends is actually December, where stocks like ETFs like SCHD, they pay out quarterly, and December is typically my largest month. So I invest heavily into that stock. As you can see, if I take these if I sort them by the gain and return for the year to date, as you can see, Let's see, 47%. I mean, that's an excellent return, but it was on what, maybe $2,000. I didn't have enough in this on these accounts to, really take advantage of that. I mean, I sold AT&T, and then it goes in the opposite direction, which is typical. You buy a stock, and as soon as you buy it, it goes down. You sell a stock, as soon as you sell it, it goes up. It's just, I don't know what that is, what kind of law that is. If it just seems like maybe that's just something that happens to me. But nonetheless, so these are all pretty smaller valuations. I don't really have a big valuation account until maybe I get to SPHD, nearly $5,000, and that's up year to date 20%, right? And then everything's still under 1,000, 2,000, but then SCHD, which is almost 15% year to date, and we still have another 2 months really left. SoundHound is more of a tech play. I just wanted to see, it's kind of one of those AI techs that, hey, maybe it'll turn out to be an NVIDIA, probably not, but that's when I'm kind of just rolling the dice on taking a small gamble. I want to see where that might go. I think I've thrown I don't know what have I put into this stock. Well, I have 407 shares, so that's a good thing. The stock price did go up to over $6, I think a week or so ago, but with all this AI stuff going on right now, it's almost, you got to look at some of those AI stocks and go, okay, do I have a few $100s or maybe $1,000 or $2 to put into one that you think, A, might just explode in growth, or B, might get bought out by a company that explodes in growth. So there's just a lot of unknown right now in the AI market. So I wanted to purchase that stock and see where it takes me. So anyways, let me minimize this and get into my spreadsheet. So what I've done is I'm following it week by week, basically from the week of 9/29, what I started out as, where it went up next week to 243, what that increase amount is in terms of dollars, what that increase amount is in terms of percentage. 10/13, I had a great week, so to speak, but I transferred 17,400 from my SoFi account into it. So a lot of the gains were from that. So even though it has an increase of $24,840 and 10%, what I've done here over in the notes portion is basically the gain for the week was only still a lot, $7,440.51. That's my gain for the week, because what I did is I backed out the 17,400 that I transferred in, so that I'd have kind of a more realistic number, and so that's the real gains for the week. That was a great week, and then since then it's kind of a little bit of consolidating. The following week, 10/20, it went down slightly, about $1,500, which is half a point, and then 10/27, it went down basically $15,000, but again, I pulled out 9,500. So what's the difference there? That's $5,500. So it still went down. It went down. That's a $5,500 drop, right? And the decrease is about 5%. And I'll end up fixing the math on these. I just wanted to kind of put this together so you could kind of at least see something and get a video out there. So I'm not dead. And then as you'll see, 11/3, 250. So it's went down about $1,755. But overall, if you just were to kind of look at the math, I'm still up from where I started to where it's at, and it's looking even better today. As you saw, the balance from 11/3 to today is it's up another $3,000. So just the past 2 weeks have been chaotic, and that's part of investing. That's part of whether it's growth investing, dividend investing. It's just going to be volatile, and you don't get scared when it goes down, and you don't over rejoice when it goes up. It's a game of, it's a long game. So I want to put this week by week to show people over the course of 5 years. Man, some weeks were just awesome. Some weeks stunk, but over the course of that year, I was up on average, let's say roughly 10%. And so that's why you just kind of gotta set it and forget it, as the Ronco guy would say. But yeah, that's kind of where, what I wanted to do, just get an update out there, so we can see how things are materializing. It's going to be interesting to see what these next 7 or 8 weeks look like with the presidential election and the stock market and the holidays and Black Friday and all of that. But I think over the course of where I started at 241 to where it's going to end up, honestly think I'm going to gain probably another, between now and the end of the year, probably another $5,000. Easy, almost $1,000 a week. I just think that the markets now are going to, have security, and whoever it is, whoever wins the election, at least, okay, well, now we know who won. So now we know their policies. Now we know, what we need to do with our money or our companies or our businesses or, our taxes, etc. So looking forward to that. Appreciate you tuning in, and I'll put you out on the next video.